that tries to explain fictional worlds using science. I'm Simon.
And I'm Jeff.
It just occurred to me that, like, I feel like every single time I start that sentence, it sounds like I am just more tired than the last time.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's definitely the vibe that I get from it.
And I don't mean to be, it's just that I have to focus really hard to remember the whole sentence.
You don't have it, like, on a sticky note on your monitor?
I had it written down for a really long time, and then I got rid of it, and I probably should put it back on my...
You're like, no, I got this. We nailed it. Easy, one line. Can't forget that. Proceeds to forget it every other week.
Yeah, come on. I've said it so many times. We're on our 48th. This is our 48th episode. Our 48th distinct episode, I believe. I believe because we re-released like episode the serial episode twice. When we had a big issue around last Christmas. And like I was traveling, and I think you were also traveling. Mm-hmm. Anyway, recording. There's those waveforms are just those waveforms are there for a reason because someone is going to hear this.
Probably a few people. Yeah. I could give you the stats if you want.
I can't just sorry. I was still having just my normal conversation with Jeff. Jeff, you know what is something I think every movie needs?
Good cinematography.
No, I think plenty of movies have had bad cinematography that I love. For example, Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
How many Fast and Furious titles can you remember?
I only know Fast 5, and then it's Hobbs and Shaw is the newest one. I can't remember what 3 is. I think 3 is just Fast and Furious 3. The Fast.
3 Fast, 3 Furious.
I think it's The Fast and Furious. Anyway, no. What every movie needs are house-sized fat chickens that can kill you.
All right, yeah, I can get behind that. Just like hid in the background somewhere in every movie.
Yeah, just somewhere like an Easter egg, like an American cultural Easter egg for our anthropologists to find 1,000 years from now, and they're reviewing our literature, and they're like, why are there all these references to just giant fat chickens? If you haven't been able to guess from what I think is a very obvious clue to what we're doing this week, it's Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I mean, obvious segue.
It's the movie, the main movie that for sure...
It is the movie that does have giant chickens in the background.
That for sure should have giant chickens, but it doesn't. Because this is the 1993 svelte dinosaurs, which we all know are dinosaur lies. They don't exist.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. For anyone who, doesn't know, again, sometimes we do things that are so popular. I don't know how in depth I should go into them.
Like, how much do we have to unpack this garbage movie before we can get into it?
I don't know if it's a garbage movie.
Is the question that you're considering whether or not it's a garbage movie or how much we have to unpack? Because that was quite a sound you made.
Whether it's a garbage movie. I would put Jurassic Park on the level of films that I'm like, if it was on in the background, I would watch it. Like, it's not at the point of like Twilight New Moon, where like if it were on the background, I'd be like, I have literally...
You would roast it the entire time.
Yeah, I recite all the lines, and I cry at the scene where the vampires and the werewolves fight. I think that's New Moon. I don't know.
Man, you have much more knowledge about it than I do.
I have knowledge about it. Why do I have knowledge about it?
Because you read all the books, and you got that tattoo last year, right?
No, I think we were going to do an episode on Twilight, and so I researched Twilight.
Oh, that would probably make sense.
And
there's probably a lot there to work with. Why haven't we done that up yet?
I don't know. I think I didn't find enough because a lot of it was about how it was a bad movie. I don't like admitting the fact that I've read the first 2 books in the series. To be honest.
But you didn't finish it up, huh?
Well, to be honest, they were given to me for Christmas because I always ask for books for Christmas, and people just give me a lot of books. And I was in a pretty kind of deep depression, and it was cold, and so I just sat in bed one day and just read the first 2 Twilight books, which is really sick.
It's all this one shot. They're quick reads, real introductory sort of level writing style.
Well, yeah, now that I think about it, it might be the only book I have ever read for the first time in a day. I got it and then I read it. Those are probably the only books I think that I've done that with, which is sad. It should tell you something about the writing style, because I have I'm not a good reader, and I was able to finish those books.
Just in one shot.
Just in one shot, yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted by Twilight. I know it's
happens to the best of us.
Story of my life, am I right? When will Twilight cease to be funny to make fun of? That's what I really want to know. Anyway.
That's the real question.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Jurassic Park. So Jurassic Park is a movie where you have a nice old man who made his fortune. He made his fortune in circuses, like building circuses, which I don't know how you make that much money. But he records, he makes his first million or something like that off of a flea circus that contained literal fleas, I believe. It's very strange. It's also a book, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely a book.
But we're doing the Steven Spielberg movies because I have not read those books. Yeah, so he makes his fortune, and then he goes, what's the next big thing that people want? People want dinosaur parks. So he buys an island, and he starts genetically mass-producing dinosaurs. He invites a famous paleontologist to be well, actually, it's a couple of guys. It's a paleontologist, a biologist, and then I don't know what the woman is. I think she might also be a paleontologist. I only know that it's Jeff Goldblum in the film. And he's the biologist, and he gives a very bad description of chaos theory.
Okay.
But so they bring him in. They're like, "Oh, the dinosaurs are so cool." And then what happens is the IT guy gets pissed off from not being paid enough at the park. He releases a virus. It shuts down all the security systems. Everyone gets trapped on the island, and all the dinosaurs get set loose. So they're just trying to stay alive while the dinosaurs are just killing people and running rampant.
Just, what dinosaurs do.
Yeah, there's children there too.
Historically, at least.
Yeah, you know how historically, you know how dinosaurs and humans evolved at the same time.
We've all seen the pictures.
Yeah, we've all seen the pictures, guys. And, pictures don't lie.
Right. Especially very bad illustrations.
Yes, exactly. Those ones are the truth. Because if it was fraudulent, wouldn't they have done a better job?
They would have covered it up better.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like the of course the moon landing isn't. Of course the moon landing happened because they wouldn't have made it so obvious that it didn't happen. If it, yeah.
Good
logic.
Good logic. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the basis of the film. There's not much to it. They run around. I don't remember how they fight or win, or I think they escape on a helicopter.
That seems fair.
Yeah, a man gets eaten while he's on the toilet. I think he's an accountant.
It's a rough day.
Yeah, real rough day. Maybe he's a lawyer. Anyway. So as you can see, that there's probably some pretty big issues about this, because it's, science has made leaps and bounds since 1993.
Right.
And so I'm going to get started with the one I've already brought up, which is the fact that the dinosaurs aren't fat chickens. So this is something, if anyone doesn't know, soft tissues don't fossilize well. So the fact that we think dinosaurs are like kind of svelte and muscly is probably just because their fat and muscle and feathers weren't left behind. So so the current working theory that paleontologists have is that dinosaurs were feathered and had like kind of like they were lean, but they were like kind of like chickens. Like they had fat on them a little bit. It's
Makes
just
sense.
very funny to see, to think of a Tyrannosaurus Rex as like just a huge chicken.
It's a big angry chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Without a beak, obviously, because it's a dinosaur. But yeah, so
Right.
why did they have no fat chickens in the Jurassic Park universe?
So I guess that gets into how like well they were able to replicate the DNA that they got. I think out of a mosquito trapped in amber, right?
Yeah.
It had like one dinosaur DNA, so then they figured out the rest of the dinosaurs from that, I guess.
So the explanation that they give is that the mosquitoes that were frozen in amber, you can extract the blood from them, and from there you can get all the other DNA, which is not how DNA works, but
Not quite.
they
no.
also, for the parts of the DNA code that were missing, they filled in frog DNA.
Which is why all the dinosaurs were so svelte.
Yeah. Is that what you go with? You think that they're all just really frogs? Which
I think that's a good starting
Which
point.
also doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, so here's the thing. If someone were like, okay, I need the closest DNA that I can get currently to fill in dinosaur DNA, why would you go for an amphibian? Like,
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I guess, like how in charge of the project was like this crazy millionaire who ran a flea circus? Because like if they're the one making the calls and they just don't know the science, they're just like, yeah, sure, use a frog or something. That seems right.
So here's the thing, you wish that were the case, but no, he has like a scientific advisor who like tells him this is the best way to do it.
Who he ignores. We know how this works. You tell your manager, your boss, what the best option would be. They ignore you and go with whatever they wanted instead.
And then pretend that you said that, and then when it goes wrong, they blame you.
Yes, and then they gaslight you into thinking that you said that. So they can blame you for the failure later.
Exactly. Everybody knows this. Jurassic Park is not insulated from corporate incompetence.
Right.
Okay. So you think that this is why they're so svelte, But so here's the thing: if they're
It's because they're mostly frogs. Yeah.
They're really just frogs. Actually,
I mean, when's the last time you looked at a frog, Simon?
well, here's the okay. Frogs don't have scales, and there's a pretty distinct differences between like.
Yeah, they're radically different, aren't they?
I mean, I guess I think that's not a bad idea. I think because frogs notoriously low in fat, also notoriously not dinosaurs.
I love the use of notoriously because, like, you read this like smear article against frogs and how little fat they have.
Exactly. Yeah, you didn't read that? It was a big article.
It was in Nature last week. You missed it?
Yeah, Nature's really gone off the rails. They started smear campaigns against just individual animals. All right. So we're going to say that they're not fat chickens because they just whatever the frog DNA in there didn't include fat and feathers, but they still had scales.
I mean, that could be part of what was recovered from the actual dinosaur DNA.
So.
Like, because it sounds like they're just filling in the gaps, right?
Yeah, but the issue I'm having is that okay. So you say that like frog plus bird equals scales, because that's the issue I'm having is that like scales aren't. It's not skin. It's not. Yeah, it's not skin. It's a modified feather, isn't it?
Right.
Or feathers are modified scales.
I don't know.
I think it's the other way around because the scales would have come first. Like lizard skin turned into feathers. But frog skin...
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I will not refute you. So we can use that as a jumping off point.
But so like I'm thinking like how if you what I'm saying is that why are they not more frog-like? Like I feel like they should be smooth-skinned.
I mean, I think like we could just go with what you're saying, like whatever interaction between
feathers and skin, like the happy medium,
combining the DNA, like whatever ended up winning out, ended up being like some combination and causing scales.
When you have battling DNA. Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like, it's not always just purely, like, dominant and recessive genes. You have, like, things that affect other genes.
Yeah, you have, like, coding genes and things like that. That makes sense. Again, why wouldn't they just use, like, chickens?
Literally anything other than frogs? I don't know.
Frogs don't even have, like, hard-shelled eggs, which they knew that dinosaurs had. It's like
you gotta go back with the corporate incompetence.
It's like you have like
I think that's the best explanation for that.
You have a Ferrari and someone's like, "Oh, I know how to fix this Ferrari. I've got these parts from this Model T. Let's just directly exchangeable, right? They're both cars."
Like at that point, I don't even know if that's close enough. It's, hey, I can fix that Ferrari. I have this old skateboard.
I have a Pennyworth or a Pennywise or whatever they're called. Pennyfarthing. I like Pennyweisel. Dude, in my mind.
It's gonna invent something just to call it a Pennyweisel.
So here's that is also one thing we do have to address if we're saying addition of frog DNA plus some amount of like weird dinosaur DNA equals svelte sexy dinosaurs.
Right.
Is also so if you are getting enough DNA out of like how are you getting that much DNA out of mosquitoes? Because DNA notoriously does not last for that long.
It's in the same article as the frog.
Article. It never occurred to me how many times I think I used notoriously in this show until you have now pointed out. Now I'm very self-conscious.
Well, I mean, we'll get over it. We'll forget about that being pointed out and go right back to notoriously again.
We could just go back. I mean, we can forget, man, but I don't know if I can forgive you for this. I think I just have to.
That's fine. I accept that.
Yeah, I just want you to move on, Simon, and stop bringing this up.
Please continue using notoriously.
So dinosaur DNA, how does it remain? How does it remain
in any way, shape, or form viable?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Fused in amber. Amber has those DNA preservative properties, right?
Gotcha, yeah.
That's definitely a thing.
Definitely a thing. Well, so this brings me back. I think when we did Gravity Falls, we had to address how peanut brittle preserved life.
Yeah.
And I think we could do. I think what we could do is, so let's assume that this is a sap from some kind of tree. I don't know what kind of tree. Okay. I'm not a herbologist or whatever they're called. Tree person. And let's assume that this.
I couldn't remember what treant. Is that what you're saying?
No, a person who studies trees. However, if just by virtue of the fact that you study trees, you become a treant, I think
I would be way more into trees if that's the case.
Yeah, I think I need to change my degree again. Yeah. So well, let's assume that maybe this sap has like some kind of antiseptic properties, right? Like kind of how honey does.
Okay.
And it but it can't. Okay. Better idea.
Okay.
So tardigrades. They survive like harsh conditions by building a matrix that replaces the water in their body, but it keeps their the proteins that need water to stay formed from malforming.
So the mosquito accidentally ate a tardigrade first.
Yeah.
And then the blood got caught up in with the tardigrade like matrix that it made.
Because the tardigrade is trying to survive inside the amber. And
right.
So really what they're harvesting, and maybe that's why, because they're getting a little bit of tardigrade DNA in their dinosaur. They think it's frog DNA.
Yeah, you got a little bit of tardigrade, you got a little bit of mosquito all mixed up in there.
Yeah, everybody knows mosquito, tardigrade plus dinosaur equals
svelte sexy
dinosaurs. The kind of dinosaurs that you want to like bring home to your parents and be like, look at me now, I've made it. That's what people do, right? When they get the hot significant others.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Cool. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm like, this is like just so bananas. Okay. Sorry.
Every episode of our podcast.
So we got the DNA lengthening preservative worked out, because I mean, come on, tardigrades.
Right.
Right.
Can't say no to a good tardigrade.
Can't say no to a good tardigrade. Tardigrades are the answer to everything. I think we've used them quite a bit.
Yeah, I think we've moved away recently, but I can see a resurgence coming up.
Yeah, maybe we should bring back some of the old favorites so that the new listeners can experience them again.
Right.
So here's the thing. They only create female lizards, dinosaurs.
Right.
But so that this way they can control reproduction.
Okay.
Which is like, yeah, there's an issue with that, first of all. Again, this is a bad scientific team. But what ends up happening is that the dinosaurs evolve and learn how to reproduce on their own. How does this happen?
All right.
Yeah, we're talking rapid evolution.
Very rapid evolution.
And while Jeff is thinking about this, I'm just going to point out the fact that if you want to control population to where it doesn't reproduce, you don't make females, you make males. Everyone, like,
right?
Because the population control is on females. So if you have nothing but males, and you have one creature that somehow is able to become a female and start laying eggs, you will still only have one brood of dinosaurs. You won't have every dinosaur creating eggs. Jesus.
So here's the thought. They also got a little bit of parrotfish DNA mixed up in that little cocktail.
Okay. I mean, they're...
Parrotfish being... They can change gender when there isn't, like, a male around to reproduce.
Okay. I was going to go a different direction. I was going to go... I think it's whiptail lizards are only female. They create clones of themselves. But I like your idea better because we still have to like. I guess we have to assume that the reproductive organs in the lizards are still need a diploid cell, or it's only a haploid. There you go. So it needs two parents instead of yeah. So you think that? How do you think that they got parrotfish in there? Do you think that there was a parrotfish also stuck in the
sloppy work? It's just sloppy lab work.
Oh, gotcha. One of the. It's what is the. So it's like the dinosaur like reaches into the tank to like pet his pet parrotfish. And then he's like, "Oh, I should go do my work." And he like walks over without gloves on and starts hatching eggs.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So here's the so I feel like
you're like was not expecting me to just accept it. I hear that.
I feel like this is really good improv there, Jeff. You're just like you're just like
it's not yes and yes, you're right. Full stop.
It's just yes. It's I'm the choo-choo train, and you're just like yes, you are choo-choo train. Congratulations. So the issue I have here is that I feel like we're combining so many things inside of this DNA mixture. That
it's too much of a DNA
it's
mess.
a soup. So I think we got to come up with a and I know this may sound like I'm trying to lengthen this episode. I am not. But I feel like we got to come up with a they just added in a different creature.
Right.
Oh, they got man. They got man in there. Yeah.
That's why the dinosaurs were also angry.
So that's what it was. That's why they're all having existential crises. They all have anxiety now. Because now they can understand that their lizard brain just isn't enough. Anyway, I have an idea.
Okay.
And it's so. This is a tropical island. I don't know if they ever say where it is, but a lot of tropical islands, were used for nuclear bomb testing. And let's say he got this on the cheap. And
full of radiation.
Just full of radiation, yeah. And it's mutating the cells. And oh man, I like this because if it's an XY, or like a whatever the bird one is, WZ.
Yeah, I forget what the bird one is.
If it's similar to that, where like you get a break off of one of the sex chromosomes to create the gender, like you do in mammals, at least. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's damage to the cell creates the.
Yeah, I like that actually. That is workable. I mean, like, I think the issue would be how unlikely that exactly that, like, places where it broke, or like it degraded enough to, like, make a male dinosaur.
But it doesn't need to make a perfect male dinosaur. That's the thing. It just needs to make a kind of male,
viable,
a viable male dinosaur. It really just needs to be able to somehow like create sex organs that function. And anyone can do that,
right? And who's to say? Like, they didn't say how many generations they went through with these dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it would not make sense for them to just go with the clone of, like, one dinosaur so they could capture... Well, I mean, the reason wouldn't be so that they can capture genetic drift and stuff, but because they are not using the clone of one dinosaur, they can capture, like, you know, the, I guess, irradiated, mutating DNA. That sounds right.
Yeah, you know. I agree with this. I also think that maybe in a piece of genetic brilliance that is seemingly eluding these scientists, they want diversity in DNA to make sure that, like, modern pathogens won't just, like, wipe out populations.
The entire Jurassic Park. Yeah. And that's why they wouldn't just clone the one of each species that they make. How are they making a bunch of different species of dinosaurs using this one dinosaur DNA?
Well, so that's the thing. They find...
Is that just a really productive mosquito that just ate a lot of different blood meals?
So they find a lot of mosquitoes. That's the thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple of issues with that, which is mainly that where they get it is the Dominican Republic, and the amber in the Dominican Republic doesn't date back to the Cretaceous or Jurassic periods. So that's a thing. In this highly scientifically accurate.
Got the old amber.
Yeah, they got the amber that was imported into the Dominican Republic.
They bought it off of some fence who imported it on the black market for them.
Yeah, but it's a And they just say it's from the Dominican. I like that. They say it's from the Dominican Republic to avoid taxes. But really it's from like
Right.
Or like associations with like warlords and stuff. But really it's like it's amber from all over the world. Yeah, that's crazy too.
Yeah.
Like if they get the amber from one place, how are they creating dinosaurs that did not live together?
Right. Yeah, so that's definitely got to be some sort of
Shady dealing.
tax dodging going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's they're like, what? Oh, taxes from the Dominican Republic, tariffs on the Dominican Republic are really low, but really the amber's from like China or other places that have high tariffs. I don't. Mexico maybe? No, this is 1993.
I mean, I guess it would depend. I don't know what the amber tariff situation is in different countries.
True. I think that we could wildly speculate and say that it's very high from everywhere except for the Dominican Republic.
Except the Dominican Republic, yeah, that makes the most sense.
And maybe this is like maybe when he. I like this idea that this is really how Old Man McCready or whatever his name is. Got his money, is that he is the black market salesman for this amber out of the Dominican Republic. It's like, yeah, and he's like, oh yeah.
So yeah, the flea circus was just a front for the amber operation.
It's just a laundering. It's just a laundering operation. Everyone knows circuses are. I was going to say notorious again.
Yeah, I heard it start.
They're famously. Good laundering operations, because they're cash only businesses. They move around a whole bunch. They have a lot of employees. Wow, circuses would be really good for laundering operations if only they made more money.
Yeah. Well, and that's what went wrong. Is all of the circuses got out of the money laundering business. And
now they're like,
so it looks like they didn't turn as much profit as they used to.
But really they're drawing the same crowds as now. They're just now they just don't have the black market money.
Right.
Okay, I like it. So we also did mention we mentioned that we wanted genetic diversity, that they wanted genetic diversity, not us. We don't have a Jurassic Park.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
but
not between us. One of us.
We just gotta wait until that ad money comes in, and then for sure. Sorry. So we wanted to keep like modern pathogens away, because obviously these animals aren't going to have the kind of defense mechanisms against modern pathogens. The other thing they're not going to have defense mechanisms against is modern plants. Like they're eating the native plants on the island, and they point out that it's eucalyptus trees. But eucalyptus trees are poisonous to like most current day animals. So,
I mean, and that could have been part of, why they had to go through so many generations of dinosaurs to, accidentally stumble across
koala DNA,
a line that is, a line that can tolerate the local flora on the island.
Or do we think that they are genetically engineering the local flora to not produce toxins?
I mean,
your way seems easier.
Like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I guess. Like, both are viable ways if they're already tinkering with DNA and stuff.
This is kind of like a weird gift of the Magi situation we could get, where like one group of scientists is like, well, the flora no longer produce toxins. The other ones were like, well, the dinosaurs would no longer die from those toxins. Yeah. I think we're writing really good fiction here. It's
the
Magi, Jurassic Park version. Edition. That's the word I was looking for. All right. I can dig. I can dig it. My computer keeps on wanting to go to sleep, and it's very annoying.
That's probably fine.
So let's get into the physicality of the dinosaurs.
Okay.
There's some issues that they decided to come up with, like, and my favorite, which alludes to our conversation we had before this episode started running, which is there's this scene where there's just a giant pile of poop, and it's a Triceratops poop, but it's enormous. Like, it's so big, and it's actually it is taller than the Triceratops is. So obviously this has some issues. How we gotta why
all the Triceratopses got together and they agreed that one corner of their enclosure will be the bathroom. So that's just the collected pile of all of the Triceratops poops.
I mean, I wish I could prove you wrong, but I think that's correct. And I think they start to once you poop, like, because no one's picking it up, right? It's not going away, and it's not degrading very fast.
Right, very bad, animal husbandry practices on Jurassic Park.
Yeah, horrible animal husbandry practices. So they're like, maybe the Triceratops is like, well, now the poop's too large. We have to stand on each other's backs to get on top of the pile to poop.
Because I mean, they already agreed on the dimensions of the bathroom area. They can't expand that every time. That's just moving the goalposts.
Exactly. Sometimes you got to make a statement by pooping taller and not wider.
Right.
I think
just to really show the Jurassic Park keepers what for.
Yeah, really. This
is more of a protest than anything else.
Yeah, it's about a statement. It's about cleanliness and about a statement. It's like self-immolation, chaining yourself to trees, hunger strikes, steadily pooping taller.
Pooping in exactly one spot.
And as tall as you can make it. Oh, I completely agree with this.
Right.
I think that I think what we're learning is that Triceratopses were really the civil rights leaders of their time.
Right.
Cool. The other thing. So there's a part in the film, and I don't know how they would know this from bone records, but they bring up the fact that T-Rexes could only see through movement, and that's where they get that famous line, "Don't move and it won't see you," or whatever. It's almost like a Predator-esque scene.
Right.
First of all,
I mean, would they get that from bone records, or would they have gotten that from observing their newly extant dinosaurs?
You would think that that's the case, but the paleontologist does. One of his first lines of the film is that Tyrannosaurus Rexes see through vision. See-through vision? That's not the thing. See-through motion. Well, they're not bats. So
right.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah, so they know this from bone records.
Well, that's dumb.
I agree. Because, first of all, in what stupid scenario is it advantageous for a creature to evolve the ability to only track movement?
I mean, like, I can understand where it's like the movement catches the attention.
Yeah, yeah.
But to like only be able to see things that move is wild.
Is wild. Yeah, or even just like, even if you're like first of all, what happens when you're looking at something that is stationary? Do you just not see it? Is it like a focus thing?
Well, I guess, yeah, then would it be like you would have to move and just constantly be vibrating a little bit to like get like a relative position of things?
That makes sense. But then it wouldn't matter if you were moving or not. If the prey was moving or not, because then you could see whatever it was. You're always vibrating. So I think that this is stupid bunk. But I guess
yeah, I don't know how they could get that information from the bones.
And I don't know why the T-Rex would have it anyway, because the T-Rex does have it in the film. Like, he doesn't see the people when they stop moving.
Man, that is a dumb plot point.
Yeah, it is a dumb plot point. It's a very dumb plot point. Welcome to Jurassic Park, the world of dumb plot points. Remember that scene where they're dripping the water and they're talking about chaos theory?
No, I don't. Well, I might have repressed it.
It's not good.
But yeah, no, like I would like to play in the space of T-Rexes can only see movement, but like I don't know what's there to really work with.
I mean, I agree. The real question is why. Like, just why? Why?
I mean, maybe it's just a game that the T-Rexes like to play to, like, for enrichment, you know? Like...
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, no,
they can see everything, but they're only going to go after things that move.
So I like this idea, because I'm thinking that, like, Tyrannosaurs are like puppies. Or like cats. Where they, like...
Right.
When they get a little bored, they just kind of like play with their food. And so this is like a game of like red light, green light, or anyone who owns a dog, and when you like do a bunch of fast movement and then stop moving, your dog will like stop moving and stare at you. I agree. I think that this is what the Tyrannosaurus Rex is doing, and I think the Tyrannosaurus Rex doesn't want to kill the people. I just don't think it understands its own strength.
Just like puppies.
Yeah, because I mean, you think like you give a dog, another, couple of tons of mass and big, sharp, nasty, pointy teeth.
Right.
It might kill something. It's like a dog hunting a fly. So that's what I agree. I think this is enrichment that the T-Rex is coming up for itself.
Because as we already discussed, the terrible animal husbandry practices.
Oh yeah. They have not been giving these animals. Yeah, like for real, they are really bad at this. Like they feed the animals like stationary
eucalyptus.
Well, yeah, too. But like the carnivores, they don't like release the live animals. They just like dangle it over the cages. So even that amount of enrichment's gone. Jeez. What? I'm happy that Jurassic Park is closed. This was a.
Yeah, no, that was like
This is a bad place.
Real bad place.
Yeah. Just because an animal is technically extinct doesn't mean you can ignore your responsibility as a steward of those animals. God. Old man that I don't remember the name of.
Very insightful.
Anyway, I guess the final... So there is one thing that we can talk about, which is that the raptors are really smart. and that they're also
could use doorknobs, couldn't they?
They could. Also, the fact that real raptors were like the size of chickens.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that this is again just boredom. Like when you lack enrichment, you just start playing with everything around you,
poking at things. Yeah.
And they figured out how to use doorknobs long before this. Because they're...
Yeah, I think that probably fits the best for why they're able to use doorknobs.
Yeah, they've always known how to use doorknobs. So there is one thing.
Yeah.
The pterosaurs and the pterodons, which are like
the flying ones.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
They can pick up humans in the film. And
it's because that frog DNA.
But here's the thing. Sure. Issue is, like, flight is a pretty physically limited task. Like, you can't pick up a creature that is your size.
Right.
So what do we think is giving those pterosaurs and pterodons flight? Extra flight capabilities.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not just like how do they fly?
Bumblebee DNA mixed in there.
What'd you say?
I said they got that bumblebee DNA mixed in there.
Yeah, they just pump their wings real fast. Oh my god, they would be so warm.
Yeah, I guess it would be like, are they...
They come down.
Like, how well are they flying away? Or are they, like, swooping down and using that momentum to, like, just get them off the ground, like, enough and then drop them? Or are they, like, and then flying over the ocean away with them?
Yeah, it's like a helicopter. Like, they like, park themselves on the person's shoulders and then, like, go straight up. Yeah, I would agree. Like, yeah, if you're dive bombing and like picking it up and carrying it away, and just kind of letting the momentum carry you into the sky, or like at least a little bit further away, you're probably fine. But yeah, this is like this is.
But yeah, like basically a full stop and then flying away.
Yeah. Also, this is particularly difficult because I don't think Pterosauruses and Pterodons.
They were as big as they were in the movie?
I mean, they may or may not be. Also? I have no idea. But I don't think they have pneumaticized bones. Let me look that up. So for anyone who doesn't know, pneumaticized bones... sorry. Okay, so they do have pneumaticized bones. So at least there's that. They're at least lighter. They're not like the heavy birds. So I have an idea. I think that in the many iterations of pterosaurs and pteranodons. I've been pronouncing that word wrong because I'm reading it incorrectly. Pterodon. I'm just gonna say the flying dinosaurs. I think the flying dinosaurs. I think that they are doing this thing where they are as they're flying, dive bombing. Okay, they're opening up their lungs, and they are pressurizing their pneumaticized bones. So they're using their bones to store pressurized gases, and then when they need to take off again, they expel those pressurized gases out of their wings.
Where, pray tell, would those gases be expelled?
I know you want me to say the but, but I don't think it is. I think it is. I think it's out of the pores of the creature. So like what I'm seeing is like it's using its pressurized gases not only for lift, but to reduce drag over its wings. If that makes sense.
Okay. So like, they made vertical takeoff and landing dinosaurs.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Accidentally. They didn't mean to do this. And I think I actually have a basis for this. Part of pneumaticized bones is that they're a way of cooling off a bird. Like you can cycle air through them and cool the bird off. Because flying is such a energy intensive procedure. So when they're dive bombing, instead of like doing that, they're just storing it and pressurizing it in bones, because bones notoriously are good at storing gases under high pressure.
Right.
Yeah. I like it. I think it works.
Yeah, like I don't have a better explanation on that one. And that's definitely a creative solution.
I think so too. We have made a jet propulsed flying dinosaur. Boy, that's my favorite part about that is like, what is the sound that it makes when it takes off?
When it takes off?
Because in my mind, it's a jet engine. That child that it grabs and flies away with is going to be deaf for the rest of his life.
For the rest of his very short life.
As a very short life. All right, that's all I had.
Yeah.
Jeff's all like,
well, we solved Jurassic Park.
There we go. We did it. The J Park. I mean, there's also issues like you have dinosaurs from other periods, not the Jurassic period inside the park. But again,
well, yeah, we solved that with the black market amber trade.
Yeah, exactly. That was really the linchpin in this whole escapade. Thanks for listening. Jeff, you should do the sign off because you're better at it than I am.
Yeah, so thanks for coming, listeners. We enjoyed having you. Definitely go ahead and find us out there on the internet at pedantichandwavium.com. We're on the Spotify and the YouTube and like basically any podcasting app.
Yep.
What else we got going?
We're on Twitter.
We're on Twitter. Yep, thank you. At Handwavium.
Yep.
You
can also send us show suggestions. This current.
Yeah, that one works on the website also that we mentioned.
This one was actually a show suggestion from a friend of my girlfriend. Hey.
What else we got? Thanks to Joe Sopchak for the theme music.
Yeah, thank you, Joey. I can call him that because he doesn't listen to this podcast.
And he hates to be called
I don't
Joey.
know. I don't think he would enjoy it, though.
Alright, so I think that is it. Do you have anything else? Any special news? Events?
It seems like you're trying to lead me into something. I do not have any special news or events.
Yeah, no, I did phrase it to try to lead you into something, but did not know what you might have brought to the table.
No, I haven't brought anything to the table. The special events that have gotten postponed due to coronavirus,
his life.
What did you say?
His life, just day-to-day
existence. No, I actually got to follow up on some stuff. But we are approaching our 50th episode.
Hey, that's 50 episodes.
Maybe we'll do something. Yeah, maybe we'll do something for it, and maybe the 50th episode will be like our last episode because we're like, hey, we did 50 episodes.
I think we won podcasting.
I think we won, right? At least just sticking with it. We stuck with it for a really long time. It's going to be almost 2 years in March. May?
Probably.
I
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't keep track of time anymore.
No, no one does. Certainly not I.
Right. Alright. So is that
I
it?
believe so.
Are we
Yep.
good? We out?
We're out.
Alright. Well, goodbye, listeners. Good night. We love you. We'll see you in 2 weeks.